You know, every time I sit down and I do a review on a brand new amp simulator plugin, I always get the same thought that goes through my head. There is no possible way that this could ever get better. Well, they keep getting better. Today we're going to be checking out the brand new Joey Sturgis Tones Disruptor. Let's get into it. Today is the day I think many guitarists have been waiting for, and that is the day that they can tap into the massive metal tones of the legend himself, Dino Cazares of Fear Factory. Fear Factory has really become pretty much a household name at this point. They have been crushing the metal scene for ages and have released countless albums. Well, lucky for us, Dino has teamed up with everyone over at Joey Sturgis Tones to bring you his awesome sounds. For as long as I've been in audio production, Joey Sturgis Tones have been killing it with all kinds of different plugins and amp simulators. My first amp sim ever was actually the Toneforge Ben Bruce model, and to this day still holds up really well. Actually, all the intros to my videos that you see are using the Toneforge Ben Bruce model. So when I saw that Dino of Fear Factory was teaming up with Joey Sturgis Tones to bring you some awesome tones and a lot of different bells and whistles, I couldn't resist. I actually had to go out and get it myself. This amp plugin has a ton of different features, so I don't want to waste too much of your guys' time out here. Let's go ahead and go into my computer and let's check out the JST Disruptor. So when you load up the Disruptor plugin from JST, this is what you are going to see. This is one of the 3 amplifiers that you get to choose from on it, and this is the replica. So looking at the replica, to me, it looks a lot like a Marshall amplifier, which I'm sure is what it is modeled after. But like I said, you have 3 different amplifiers to choose from. You have the Martyr, which is more of like your clean amplifier, and then you have your Proto Mech, which is more of like your nasty high gain amplifiers. So let's go back to the replica, and I want to see what this sounds like straight out of the box and just kind of give it a good old go. Today I am playing on my 8-string Legator Ninja guitar, and I chose that because the Disruptor plugin is actually aimed more towards your baritone and lower tuned guitars. So it kind of gave me an excuse to bust out my 8-string and have a little bit of fun with it. So let's see what it sounds like. Yeah, that sounds really, really good straight out of the box. It's nice and tight and everything. And I mentioned that this plugin is aimed more towards the lower tuned and more baritone of guitars. So down here in the left, you have the mode section, and it kind of helps the plugin know exactly what you're playing, and it will react better to what you're playing if you set it in the right mode. So for example, I am playing an 8-string guitar, so I will move this down to an 8-string, and then the next one over, you get to choose what tuning you're in. So I'm in drop E on the 8-string guitar, nice and low, nice and chunky. Let's see what that did to the sound. Yeah, it definitely kind of thickened it up a little bit. Sometimes when you start going lower and lower on your tunings, you start to lose a little bit of clarity in the low end and a little bit of that resonance. So it's always good to kind of thicken it up so you have that clarity in there. I really like this part of this plugin. I think it's really unique to it for sure. And there's another really unique feature, which is the DI match. And it's up here on the left-hand side. So let's say you were recording with this plugin on a different guitar and you come back and you don't have that guitar anymore, but you still want to sound unified like you're actually playing on that guitar. So you can capture the DI source before it even hits the amplifier. So all you have to do is hit capture source and then just start playing. And then you just hit accept, and there's your capture. There are also some presets up here. So if you want to sound like Dino on his 8-string, you can do that. Joey Sturgis also has a few different presets on there, and there's a bunch of other collaborators as well. And another really cool, so this plugin is filled with a ton of awesome features. You're probably going to hear me go, and another awesome feature, and another awesome feature. So another awesome feature, by the way, is you can make your passive pickups act and sound a little bit more like an active circuit. So what you do is you hit this, and then you can choose how much more output you want to do. That's extremely unique. Let's see what it sounds like on this one. So these are passive pickups that are in my Legator. That's actually really cool. You can definitely hear with active pickups, it tends to get a little bit more compressed, and I definitely heard it even out for sure, but I will go ahead and leave those off for right now. But if you want your passive pickups to sound a little bit more like active pickups, you can definitely do that. Let's take a look at a few of the amplifiers. So we have the Disruptor here, and you'll notice there is the Hunt, the Kill, and the Devour. So the Hunt is shaping your lower frequency gain. The Kill knob is shaping your higher frequency gain, and the Devour is how much gain do you want? It's your overall gain. And then over on the right-hand side, you have your power amp section where you can choose if you want your power amp to sound a little bit more like a tube power amp or a solid state power amp. And then your input, do you want it high? Do you want it low? We're a high gain channel here at High Impact Audio, so we're going to leave it on high. We want as much input and output as we can get for sure. And then over here on the bottom with this, and I'm going to put this in here now because typically when I play my amplifiers, I like to have a boost pedal in the front. So on the bottom, on the signal path here, you have your pre-effects, and you can choose from any of these 5 effects. So I mentioned I like to have a boost. So let's put an overdrive in front of this. And let's see, yeah, drive down. We're going to leave the bass where it is and the treble. And actually, let's leave the level where it is as well. And let's see what this sounds like. Let's boost the level just a little bit. Yeah, I think that sounds pretty good. And keep in mind that this one here is the pre-effects. There's another section where you can do your post-effects after the amplifier and after the speaker and everything. So let's head back and let's check out the Martyr, actually. So we're typically more of a high gain channel, but I like to throw just a little bit of the cleans in there just to see what it sounds like. Okay, very pristine. So you can go from your super pristine cleans to something a little bit more push. So if you hit the burn switch, that's going to add a little bit of extra boost to it. You can hear that breakup. You can also brighten it up a little bit. So that's pretty cool. And then you have your compressor, you have your gain, your 3-band EQ, presence, volume, pretty much the normal stuff you will see in any of the other amplifiers. And then over on the Proto Mech, so this amplifier I really like for like chuggy rhythms and stuff. So let's see what this sounds like. I told you guys it was like filthy rhythms. It is a filthy tone for sure. Yeah, that is absolutely filthy. I actually might dial back that gain just a little bit here. Yeah, just to kind of keep it tight, keep it percussive, especially for my style of music. Absolutely. And then there is modes here on the Proto Mech, and you can choose from any of these 5 modes, but if I'm being completely honest, I found myself really liking the monolith. The other modes seemed too fuzzy for me, and fuzz typically is not my favorite kind of sound out of a guitar. So you can definitely check that out if you want, but I'm going to keep it on monolith. And then down on the signal path, let's get back to the signal path. You have your IR section. You can do dual, or you can even do a single if you would like, and you can blend between them. So like a lot of other amp sims now, you can really dive into the IR section, which I think is awesome because IRs is basically the future of guitars. I use them all the time for silent recording and everything. I really rely on awesome IRs. So you can choose on either side what cabinet you want. You can choose the microphone you want, the position, you can do phasing, all that kind of stuff. So that's really cool. And then of course you have your post effects. So for like a post effect, maybe we can do, I don't know, maybe like a reverb or something. Let's see what that sounds like. Oh, I can already tell it's going to be nice and ambiotic. That's a really nice reverb. Definitely a really nice reverb for sure. I'm going to back that off just a tiny bit there. That's probably one of the nicer reverbs that I've found on a lot of amp sim plugins. This one definitely pertains to a little bit more of my style. I like those really long ambiotic reverbs, so I'm definitely all about this one. Let's check out another effect here. Let's check out the lo-fi. I'm excited to check this one out. I love lo-fi stuff. Oh man, this is a plugin after my own heart. This is crazy. This lo-fi sounds amazing. So there was the Jason Richardson JST plugin that also had a lo-fi effect pedal on it, but this one, to me, it kind of blows the Jason Richardson one out of the water. This sounds really good. I could spend hours working on this. Yeah, that's a really nice lo-fi pedal for sure. And then over to the right on the signal path, you have your dynamic EQ, and you can make it digital on the look, or you can even make it analog. So if you're used to more of an analog look, you can do it there. And honestly, the digital is really cool to have the graph, but when you play, you see the curve of the EQ curve. And I think, you know, going analog It keeps you honest because you don't rely on looking at that EQ curve. So that's just me, but it's cool. If you want to have the digital look, you can, and then you can make it, like I said, a dynamic EQ. So we can take out a little bit here, and then we can make it dynamic. Let's lower the threshold just a little bit, and let's play. So you can see how it's bouncing, how it's being dynamic with everything. So you can do that. You can make a high cut filter, low pass, high pass, all that stuff, a bell, a shelf, whatever you want, you can do. This is actually a really powerful EQ to have on an amp sim plugin. So awesome job, JST, on that. And then one more feature over here on the right-hand side is a compressor and also a limiter. So if you have the need for a compressor or a limiter, you can definitely use this for sure. There is one more feature that I haven't quite found. I gotta find it, but there is a way to do a through and bypass the amplifier. So if you have a favorite plugin and you want to use the DI matching on this plugin, you can do it, and you can just use the DI matching and bypass the rest of the Disruptor plugin and go into something else. That's awesome. I mean, JST has really thought of everything with this plugin for sure, and I can easily say that this is probably my favorite JST amp sim so far. The JST Disruptor definitely sets the bar pretty high now for amp simulators, especially with not just a great tone, but the ability to match DI signals, having such a powerful dynamic EQ, and also the ability to adapt to whether you're playing an 8-string guitar, a 7-string guitar, or a 6-string guitar. Those three features alone are definitely worth the purchase. JST absolutely blew it out of the park with this one. If you would like to get your hands on the JST Disruptor plugin, I will have the link for that down in the description below. Please let me know down in the comments, what did you think of the JST Disruptor? Also, if you're enjoying my videos in any way, shape, or form, you already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff. Thank you so much, everyone. My name is Chris with High Impact Audio, and I will see you next time.